from Wilson, North Carolina, and the Gillette Soccer Complex. Field number 1, the 2015 Girls U.S. Youth Soccer National League Series is on the air. Hello, everyone. I am Marky Bilson, giving you today's action from the Turbo Sports Network, brought to you by, of course, between two teams from Michigan and California playing in an 18 and under contest. These two teams, well, let's tell you about them. First off, the Legends FC from the Golden State. Their city of residence, call that Chino, and they are 0-1 so far in this tournament, losing to Syracuse Developmental yesterday. A 1-0 loss is what the Wixom, Michigan Jaguars 98 Green team suffered to Carlsbad yesterday. Now, this contest between two 18 and under teams is very interesting because not only does it have a number of future collegians in the lineup, but also you will be having two 4-3-3 teams. So we may have the opportunity to have a higher scoring game today than we may normally see. Now, again, that was not shown by the first two games that these two teams played, but nevertheless, 4-3-3 strikers on both sides, less midfield. There's a chance for some open style of play here. As you might guess, if you're from the Golden State, you're going to be wearing those golden uniforms with the white numerals. And the Michigan Green team, well, they have green numerals and, of course, are wearing the black uniforms, somewhat a bit maybe reminiscent even, I might even say, of Liverpool in the English Premier team with their lettering across the front of their breast, but I'll let you determine that or not. Anyhow, we are underway here at the early going. This will be a 45-minute half on both sides, and so we will be underway. And I'll be giving you the players that will be going to college and try to identify the players as best we can here. I can't apologize because I know that, well, in certain circumstances, in all circumstances, I am legitimately given who the players are just minutes before the game, or even what game I am going to be broadcast just minutes before we go on the air. So sometimes if I do ask you to excuse a little bit of my lack of preparation, but I can tell you that it is Aubrey Osorio in net right now for the Legends from California, and for the Jaguars from Michigan, Morgan Britton, who is a Central Michigan commit. She is manning the net, or womaning the net, as the case may be. The Legends from California. Want to point out to you, as we've got some, Kimberly Lindbergh is in the midfield for Michigan, and we'll be referring to these two teams as Michigan and California for much of the day. Wixom, Michigan, I am told, is about 45 minutes east of Detroit, and it is a Southern California community, Chino, California. As both teams feel themselves out in the early going here. Again, 45-minute halves. This is an 18 and under game with many future collegians, including players who will be playing in the SEC, in the Southern Conference. We have players that will be playing in the MAC as well as the Ivy League. This kickoff will come from Aubrey Osorio from Yorba Linda High School, and a 4.0 grade point average for this goalkeeper, who will be facing the attack of the Michigan Jaguars right here. Kick away. And the ball goes out of bounds. On the far side over there, that's Julia Crow for Michigan. Now, she is one of the players who will be attending a MAC school, and we've seen this. This is the fourth game that I've broadcast today, and one of the more humorous things that comes about, and you might expect this here in Wilson, North Carolina. When you think of North Carolina, you think of a lot of woods, and you think of a lot of hills. And so the ball oftentimes rolls down the hill as this shot goes wide into the woods, which border this, which is Field 1 in the Gillette Soccer Complex here in Wilson, North Carolina. Wilson is relatively close, I guess, to the Triad. It's about 20 miles, I'd say, from Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and maybe about a 40-minute drive or so from Raleigh, North Carolina. First scoring opportunity for the Legends right now, as they have possession for the first time in Michigan's zone since the opening kickoff, I should say, but that shot goes wide. This ball fielded by number 17, Alyssa Melendez, one of the defenders. Melendez from Diamond Ranch High School. She's yet to commit to a college. And with the players fresh, the defense of California taking advantage, and now setting up. Here is a potential breakaway, but Michelle Palfrey, who's one of the forwards from Monrovia High School, she just could not break free of the defense of the Michigan Jaguars green. It's a great name, isn't it? Michigan Jaguars green. Of course, Legends isn't too bad either. Shot there, blocked, and that was Crow again blocking the shot. You can see why the MAC likes her. She'll be attending Akron with Chloe Allen, who is a starting striker on the Michigan Jaguars. Here come the California Legends. That's Michelle Palfrey taking it to the middle of the field. The defenders for Michigan not allowing her an open lane to the net. And so now California taking the ball back. A game with 18 and under players today. So these players will likely be playing college very shortly. Just a year or so. And many have committed. 5 on the roster right now for the Legends. And I am counting 6 for Michigan. Ball kicked away. No score here in the early going. Tell you the truth, there have not been many promising scoring opportunities. And that is Morgan Britton trying to kick the ball out of her own end. It goes out of bounds, unfortunately, for her team. Fortunate for the ladies from California. Good morning if you've tuned in from the Golden State or the West Coast. Yeah, it's 2 o'clock here, but the late morning where you are. To the rest of the states, Good afternoon. Of course, I suppose there's the odd chance someone from Hawaii could be watching, and, well, aloha. I'm not going to go into what time of day it is there. Kick goes wide to the right. Now, Britain is listed on the roster as 16, but I can see she's wearing 15. And sometimes that occurs in tournaments such as this. And it allows me to say, hey, you, I am not broadcasting this game from a press box, but rather from the side of the field. Here's an opportunity, but the defenders for Michigan break it up. Again, quality defense for Michigan. And although Devin Breaux, an Auburn commit, has a little bit of trouble finding the handle, they are able to get the ball to the California end. But the Legends retain possession. They've had possession for most of the early going here as we approach, the 10-minute mark of the game. Number 9 is Abby Woodruff, who is a teammate, by the way, of Adrian Woodruff. However, they are not related. There just are a lot of Woodruffs in Wixom, Michigan. And again, Allen handling the ball, and she'll kick it deep. Here's her punt. Ball goes out of bounds. The far side. It's Julia Crow. And again, I mentioned that she's going to Akron. So is Chloe Allen, the striker, who is having a birthday today. In fact, this is Chloe's 18th birthday. You'll see her wear number 12 for the Michigan Jaguars. Michigan trying to establish possession in the California zone. And the ball once again goes out of bounds, but it will be possession for Michigan. I've seen many college scouts here at the tournament. None right now are on this side of the field so that I can identify. I know in previous games we've seen, I know one of the players for Michigan is going to Dartmouth, and that university has been represented. I've seen officials from Clemson, Western Kentucky, Notre Dame, Vanderbilt. Those are some of the larger schools. There's also been, let's see here, Ohio, Illinois State, Delaware, Dayton. The ball goes out of bounds here. Cincinnati. It's one of the larger schools that I've seen in earlier games. Jacksonville was here as the ball goes out of bounds. So we have a long kick here from Morgan Britton in net. And again, it looks like California, well, they get the header, but the ball kicked away. And again, we have what you may see, the ball rolling down, but not quite into the woods. At some points in the games, there is a circumstance where late in the game, you'll often see the players chasing the ball off the field a little bit harder than the beginning of the game when there's a little bit more time to burn. Right now, the player wants to burn something is Molly McCorsick. She wants to burn the California defense, but McCorsick, the Dartmouth commit, was not able to get a clear path, and, well, the ball goes out of bounds. McCorsick's, I will say this correctly, McGorisk is committed to Dartmouth. McGorisk is committed to Dartmouth. Forgive me, I have been my introduction mispronouncing the name, but I'm pretty sure they won't do that in New Hampshire. I'm going to set something up here for McGorisk. But she was unable to get to the center, and now California with possession again. The ball will go out of bounds before Nyjah Sanders from Etiwanda High School can get to it. So now throwing the ball in for Michigan will be Kayla Sovereign. She gets it to her teammate, and that is Bro. We've talked about her as future Auburn commit with her teammate number 4, Julia Crow. Trying to center is California, but the Michigan defense has been very tough so far. Early on, California dominated with possession time, and perhaps overall still have. They have the ball on the Michigan side of the field right now as the ball goes out of bounds into the corner, and we'll see Michigan with possession. It will be the Auburn commit Crow. Collision. And legs all tangled up. That is the Auburn commit Bro for Michigan, but it'll be California with possession. Ball deep, but no header into the net. It is Britton able to cover the ball. Both teams will likely change their goalies in the second half. Of course, this is showcase soccer, so as many players as possible, you'd like to highlight their play, potential college recruits and so on. California with the possession. Sanders knocked down. Here we have over in the corner, and trying to center it. By the way, this is number 9, Abby Woodruff. The temperature today, 53 degrees at game time here in Wilson. Not a cloud in the sky. Clear sky here in December 4th. So very nice weather here. Perhaps a bit warmer than what Michigan is used to and a bit colder than what California is. I say that. Obviously, Michigan's been playing an entire year, and when they started the season, I'm sure that it was warm in Michigan. It's only this time of year where a temperature of 50 degrees, certainly in the upper peninsula, would be a bit unheard of. Detroit, well, it's by the Great Lakes, so a little bit colder, but not so much. Again, it'll be Crow who will throw this ball in. I think I said that Crow was going to, well, Crow will be going with Allen to Akron. I may have said that she was going with Bro to Auburn. That is incorrect. It is Crow and Allen, Chloe Allen and Julia Crow of Michigan, who will be attending the Maxwell. The Akron Zips, just south of Cleveland. So they'll be staying close to the Great Lakes. Long kick, but off the mark. Britain able to punt it away. Punt was a low liner though, but still it gives possession to Michigan as they get the ball in the California end. This is Seddon. Olivia Seddon. We'll have some substitutions here for California very shortly. We're 20 minutes into the first half, approaching the halfway mark of the period. It's a 45-minute period. And is that, well, there's going to be, if player falls down, so looks like California will have possession. We'll have a substitution here as Kaylee McKenzie comes in, and coming out is Nia Sanders. These are two strikers. It was Samantha Guzman from Centennial High School, who fell down. And the ball goes wide right again. No score here. We're about a quarter of the way through the game. There's no overtime today. If it were to stay scoreless, it would just be a tie. And Rena Kang is going to come in, the Diamond Bar High School product. She's going to replace Alyssa Carthen. Carthen has committed to play at Sacramento State University. Michigan taking it out of the corner there. The ball kicked away. Of course, so often with this being select, they're playing the best high school players around. The best prep players around. So sometimes coming and taking the ball up the field in the angle and trying to get it to the front, not quite there. A kick that is, well, it misses. Kimberly Lindbergh. ball goes out of bounds. And so, the netminder, Aubrey Osorio, will kick this one away. And the ball goes out of bounds again. And now perhaps a scoring opportunity for Michigan. That is Woodruff, who's getting pushed into the corner there by Pigani. And we're going to have a substitution come in here. Alexandra Velo is thinking of coming into the game, and it appears that she will. Velo will come in for number 22, Samantha Guzman. So defender there. A Temecula Valley High School product replaces a Centennial High School product. Taking it down the left wing, that is Melendez, Alyssa Melendez. Gets it into Michigan territory. And now maybe an opportunity here. I thought, although it would have been long, she might have had a shot. Would have been like trying to convert a long field goal. The lane was there, but the distance perhaps not. Nevertheless, we'll have a kick here. That could set up a scoring opportunity in our first goal of the game. As Caitlin Traver will take this kick. Traver is one of the more unique players we've seen in her college choice. She is from California, but she has committed to play for the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders, located about 30 miles south of Nashville. They're a D1 product. Taking the ball into California's territory. The Michigan Jaguars green, and a nice save right there, if you want to call it that. Aubrey Osorio. That's not necessarily a shot on goal, but she smothers Michigan's scoring opportunity. So the Jaguars and Legends still tied 0-0, or 0-0 if you prefer. Ball on the left side of the field for California, and the ball goes slightly out of bounds. It'll be Michigan's ball, and throwing the ball in will be Kyla Sovereign. We'll have a substitution here. As it appears, Abigail Prescott will be coming in as the ball goes over my head. And Miss Prescott she'll be replacing Abby Woodruff. Throwing the ball in is Melendez for California. This is Palfrey. Palfrey getting into McKenzie, one of the strikers, but she is being heavily guarded by Jenna Tom. Centering the kick, can they get it in? No. A nice attempt right there as she was trying to set up from the corner Olivia Seddon, but Seddon just a little bit late to the ball, and it was able to be cleared by one of the defenders. We'll have a corner kick now for California's Legends. Legends FC Football Club. As we approach the 30-minute mark of the first half. Corner kick, not able to set anything up there, and Olivia Seddon's kick from far away could not make it through the wall. We'll have two more substitutions for Michigan. Alexandra Vasile will come in. And Madeline Ehrman will as well. They'll replace Devin Bro, thank you. Devin Bro and Adrian Woodruff. The problem is that Devin is so feminine, who would call her Bro? But quite a competitor. We'll also have substitutions here for California. As Michigan has possession of the ball, and the ball nearly trickles in, but a late kick away by one of the defenders, and I'm trying to catch the name right there, or the number. Forgive me, but one of the defenders, I wasn't able to catch it from my vantage point, but Osorio, finding herself most fortunate that her defensive line was able to bail her out and keep the 0-0 tie. Coming in, Piper Crawford and Rebecca Gonzalez. Coming out for California, Michelle Pelfrey and Jillian Irwin. Irwin spells her name with an E, E-R-W-I-N, much like Irwin, Tennessee. If you're from California, an old Padres fan, you'll remember Ed Whitson. He was from Irwin, Tennessee, E-R-W-I-N. Battle for the ball, and it appears right there, spirited defensive play, taking the ball away from Molly Magorsk. I believe that was Melendez taking the ball away. Can't make out the number, but her physical characteristics are somewhat definitive, and yes, I believe that was Melendez taking the ball away and having a nice defensive battle against a future member of the Big Green from Dartmouth. Impressive dribbling skills there by Sedan, Olivia Sedan of California. Melendez, nice stop right there from Michigan's Abigail Prescott. But still, California, well, here we see in a knockdown, if you will, Molly Magorsk knocked down, and so the future Dartmouth product. Still no scoring in the game. This kick will come off the toe of Michigan's Megan Riley, a future Central Michigan Chippewa. Roughly 33 minutes into the game. Still no score. And what's more, scoring opportunities have been, well, infrequent, especially for Michigan. There was one corner kick that couple of times with the legends that you thought maybe, but the defensive unit of Michigan able to get a wall and prevent any real shot on goal. California is somewhat in retreat in their own end. This is set on. McKenzie, one of the strikers, had possession, but again they kick it back, trying to set something up. Maybe a seam in the defense somewhere. Whistle blows. California will retain possession. The kick will come from Caitlin Traver. She's the Middle Tennessee State commitment. Header, but that one goes over the net from Kaylee McKenzie's noggin. And Kaylee McKenzie will be going to Metropolitan State University. We'll have a substitution here now for the Michigan Jaguars. Kelsey Estes will be coming in. Somewhat diminutive player. Wearing unique purple and turquoise cleats. She'll be coming in wearing number 16. Ball is kept in by Michigan in that case. That was the seal, and the ball then centered by California. And now California again, adept to start over again. Set up. Both teams playing a 4-3-3. We thought maybe because of that we'd see more scoring, but what's occurred instead is another low-scoring game between these two teams as the ball goes out of play. We're in our final 10 minutes of the half. Coming out for Estes will be Chloe Allen, striker, going to Akron, along with Julia Crow. Kick wide to the left, and so Britton will punt it away. Britton's played a fine game so far. Much of the play has been in her own end, but she's been effective at knowing when to come out, how to play the ball, and certainly in a 0-0 game, 0-0 if you prefer the American version. She's done her job. Whistle blows here. Magorsk was unable to find a teammate. Neither of these teams scored a goal in their opening games, and they have yet to score a goal in this one. Somewhat surprising. Many collegians. Formation that would seem to speak of offense. But then again, they're not exactly playing a pack of zombies either. This is Coming out of the net to get to the ball and prevent a scoring opportunity again is Britton. She's shown an ability to do that and an ability to do it quite well. Another substitution coming up for the Michigan Jaguars green 98 team. And Michigan will have possession now in California's end, looking for their first goal of the tournament. So it is kicked back and now trying to set something up. It's Jenna Thorne. Thorne wearing number 83, a unique number. Shea Wiggins is set to come in. Ball in the corner. And we will have a substitution here. Again, it is Shea Wiggins. And Kyla Sovereign will come out. We are approaching the final 5 minutes of the first half. Again, no score. So now we'll have a corner kick here set up. They'll try to be able to set up a header in this circumstance. But the kick is blocked away by a wall. And now making a maneuver and able to kick the ball, but it goes over the net. It was Olivia Seddon who was making the initial corner kick, but as my mother used to explain to me, you can't go through solid matter, so neither can a soccer ball. It was kicked away, and although I thought she made a nice move to get a play where she could get something of a shot off, it wasn't a shot on goal as it went over the net. In perhaps her last 5 minutes of the game, Britton kicks the ball away. Both these teams figure to use different goalkeepers in the second half. And the ball goes out of bounds. In fact, right now on the sideline, Talia McGrath is warming up for Michigan. So you'd think that you would see her, and we'll see. Obviously, Britton has led a high, she has created a high standard in this game for her potential replacement, McElrath, to live up to. It's a pitcher's duel. No score here in the closing minutes of the first half. Melendez winning a one-on-one ball, a 50-50 ball, if you will, with Alexandra Vasile. But she can't do much with it. And Michigan will eventually take possession. Kick from Wiggins of Michigan is eventually controlled by California. And we'll see if there is any more real attempt here, as Michigan looks like they're going to try to make one more serious scoring effort before the end of the half. But that kick a bit too long and returned. And now this has an opportunity to be a break. Kicking the ball, but a little bit too long. This is Sedan, who's been in this position before. Heavily defended by Wiggins. Wiggins doing a great job to prevent Sedan from getting a quality shot off. The ball goes into the center of the play, of the pitch. And that long shot from Sedan, who is committed to go to the University of Northern Colorado. Ball is at midfield now. Thought that one whistle was going to indicate the end of the half. We're getting close to the end. I have really only a few more seconds, unless we could have some extra time here. There's no score, and that is the end of the half. So, we are at halftime, and two goalkeepers are pitching shutouts. Aubrey Osorio of California's Legends FC 18 and under team, and the Michigan Jaguars 98 green team was, well, future Central Michigan goalkeeper Morgan Britton had a wonderful day in the net. Now we'll see a couple of replacements for them, but the score won't change. It is scoreless here from Wilson, North Carolina, as our coverage of the 2015 Girls U.S. Youth Soccer National League Series continues on the Turbo Sports Network. Welcome back to the second half of the action where the Michigan Jaguars Green 98 and from California, the Legends FC, specifically Chino, California, will be kicking off for their second half of their second game in the 2015 Girls U.S. Youth Soccer National League Series here on the Turbo Sports Network. I'm Marky Bilson, and what the circumstances are so far in this game is, quite frankly, two athletic teams, but two teams that in three halves of play in this tournament have yet to score a goal. In their first game, Syracuse Development shut out Legends 2-0, and then Carlsbad defeated Michigan 1-0 yesterday. Right now at the half, incidentally, Carlsbad is ahead of Syracuse Developmental 1-0. So these are 18-year-old and under girls. We will have a change of netminders as Destiny Collins comes in for California, and Natalia McElroth comes in for Michigan. California gets the early possession. This time they're going from right to left, and Michigan will be going from left to right. It is, of course, the ladies from the Golden State wearing gold themselves, and so that leaves black and a slight green highlight, green numerals for Michigan Jaguars green. Play right in front of me, Chloe Allen, future Akron Zip, had possession for Michigan, and now the ball goes out of bounds. And Gonzalez, Rebecca Gonzalez from Colony High School, California, will throw the ball in. Ball is kicked out, and, well, it looks like Gonzalez will do it all over again. We have a 45-minute half and no score. The ball kicked back as California will try to set something up. Ball is cleared to the center. And here Michigan looking for possession. And they advance the ball deep on California, but it is kicked away. California kicking the ball back into their own end. And Michigan now with possession. That's Julia Crow going to Akron. She's on the field right now with Chloe Allen, two a midfielder and a striker for Michigan. And the kick will go out of bounds. We're in the early going of the second half. No score between Michigan and California. Chino and Wixom, respectively. Those are the towns that these two teams represent. Kick goes to the center. And Madeline Erdman trying to set something up, but Erdman, first time we've called her, nothing was there, and now California with possession. The ball goes out of bounds. That voice you might have heard was Mike Scobie, the Michigan coach, giving instructions to his team. Now we have no overtime if the score remains tied, be it scoreless, be it 1-1, be it 10-10 for that matter. That's it. It's called a stalemate. The two teams shake hands, and they take satisfaction they did not lose, but none in a victory. Kick right there from a difficult angle by Michigan. And I don't know whether to say it misses the net or if it is a crossing kick that no one was there to be a header, but either way it does not result in a goal. And ultimately what will happen is that Destiny Collins from Chaffey College will be kicking the ball away. Yes, Chaffey College. She still has some eligibility. She would like to transfer, and we'll see what kind of a leg she has to do so. Ball taken away and a player down for California. And Julia Crow with possession, but it appears that, well, California has a player flat on her back, Legends FC. And as soon as I can make out the number, I will tell you the unfortunate news here. There was a collision and she fell down. She's in a position. He's able to ask for a step up. That is Rena Kang from Diamond Bar High School. And in fact, Ms. Kang takes a hand up and is walking off on her own power. And the question is if she's good or if she's going back into the game. And it appears that Kang will return to the action, just wanting to walk off her injury. Wearing gray and green cleats. Now that one is new. Right now, however, Michigan has a man advantage. And not for long as Kang comes in. And with Kang at midfield, although at the other side of the field, that might be an advantage in positioning for California. And now Kang is sort of, give it to me, I only have one person to beat. However, she cannot be found. And so, instead, this is Allen, Chloe Allen. I always liked the name Chloe, I must admit. Kick goes out of bounds. And for that matter, I like the name Destiny, which is the opposing goalkeeper as well. So I try to remain neutral here. Many wonderfully exotic names here. My favorite, and I have yet to call her name, but is California's Alyssa Alley Boots, who is a striker committed to go to Mercer College. She wears number 16. Keep your eye out for her. Now this one is Carthon, number 23, trying to set something up. And going to the mid, but no one around, and instead covering will be Tom of Michigan. Jenna Tom. We're in Wilson, North Carolina. Two teams have traveled a long way to meet in this game. Legends FC across the country. And the Jaguars from up in the north. And now the second goal keeper that the Jaguars have used today, McElrath, kicked it away on the ball at midfield. This is Allen. Good job at shadowing Allen to a certain point. We're approaching 10 minutes played here in the second half, so approximately 35 minutes remaining. A little over. And remember, no overtimes here. If you tie, you tie. Trying to center it, but blocked away. And Michigan here trying to set something up. Crow. And the ball goes out of bounds. No score here, second half, between Michigan and California. These two teams have yet to score in the tournament, two outstanding defensive teams. And they really are outstanding defensive teams because you can see with many of the ball handling skills that they have, and dare I even say speed, that there is, and we have a substitution here, and right now Michigan again is going to play with an advantage as we have Michelle Palfrey is left momentarily. They don't want to take her out permanently, but Palfrey has a bloodied nose, and so they're going to play 10-on-9 right now, and a distinct advantage for Michigan right at this point. But here comes California. Can they do something short-handed? Here's Sedan. So the nosebleed is being checked on by the trainer. I think she basically got the ball in the face. Ball is covered up by the keeper, McElrath. Born 2 days after Independence Day in 1998. We have an obstruction call right now. And so on this obstruction call, California will get a kick, and it is going to be Caitlin Traver going to MTSU, and about ready to come back into the game, Michelle Palfrey, and she has stopped bleeding. The ball goes out of bounds. And Palfrey is coming back on. Ball thrown in, and Michigan now must play without the man advantage, or the player advantage as the case may be. This is Tom trying to set something up from the defensive line. Woodruff, but will she lose possession? Tom has it, but they'll get it back to the keeper and now kick it away. But the point is, the ball is still, well, here comes Michigan. And a little bit of a lack from Brow. Just a wee bit slow getting to that ball, and two defenders converged on her. She had to kick it out of bounds. The Legends throw it in, but it's Michigan that possesses briefly. Ball taken away there by Piper Crawford from Chaparral High School. But back to Michigan. This is Allen. Allen double team, but she gets through it. Trying to go ahead, but Traver is there. And now Allen has it again. Can she win the battle with Traver? Well, the ball goes out of bounds. Or does it? Just saved by California. Now it's out of boundaries, and Legends FC will kick it in. About a half hour of soccer left here today. And although these teams seem to be playing a bit more up and down than they did in the first half, as a collision occurs, and California will have possession again. In fact, the collision, which Shay Wiggins of Michigan was involved in, and she somewhat thought, come on, incidental, what's going on here? But nevertheless, California will get the ball in Michigan territory, at least for the time being, before Michigan kicks it away. But Allen isn't able to set something up. Nice block there. And we will have some substitutions. Is Devin Brow. Nice block. She's going to be playing in the SEC. So a couple of talented teams here. And we'll have some. We will have some substitutions here. Michigan will be putting in number 27, Kimberly Lindberg. And Molly Magoris going to Dartmouth. She plays for Michigan Green. It's all the appropriate. She would play for the Green. Nice save right there from Destiny Collins of the Legends. And in this case, McElrath covering up. She'll punt the ball away. Michigan's been able to have better penetration in this half, I believe, than they were in the first, but this is the fourth half these two teams have played, and neither have scored a goal. Good defense, yes. High competition. Here's Allen. Kick, and just can't be led, but now trying very hard was Valise, but ball goes out of bounds, and Michigan will retain possession. Now, I was told right now that Lindberg will go in to play a center midfield position. Let's see who comes out. And Molly Magorsk again. Magorsk next year will quit being a Michigan Jaguars green and instead be the part of the big green of Dartmouth. Players coming out are Vasile and Abby Woodruff. Alexandra Vasile and Abby Woodruff. Kimberly Lindbergh kicking the ball in, and a nice save there by Destiny Collins. Minutes continue to tick by. Remember, it's a 45-minute period. And we're about 20 minutes into it. Substitutions will be made by California here very shortly. Here's an opportunity, a possible breakaway. Tangle, they want a tackle, they want a penalty kick, but it is not being called as Devin Bro had a chance on a breakaway, but the play was broken up. Some credit to Rebecca Gonzalez for breaking that up. And it appears she will come out now, as we will have, well, no, she will stay in, but coming out will be Piper Crawford and Samantha Guzman. Tom kicking it out. It's Seddon, but her shot over the net. And Natalia McElrath, who wears a traditional jersey. Now, I had mentioned that Gonzalez, I thought she might be coming out, and she did, for Jillian Irwin from Esperanza High School. We're talking about exotic names, Esperanza. Approaching the three-quarter mark of this game. And the ball is kicked out of bounds. Ball out of bounds. Scrum in front of the net, but there'll still be no goal. McElrath kicks it away. And the ball will drift out of bounds, but not before it will go into the woods. Allen throws it in for Michigan, as they'll try to set something up. Michigan's enjoyed more possession time in this half than they did in the first. But here, the ball taken away. That's Boots right there. Boots going to Mercer, which is a college in Macon, Georgia. Mercer was actually one of the founding members of the Transatlantic Conference, which no longer exists. Its name was changed to the Atlantic Sun. If you are listening in and watching in from California, Andy Enfield, the head coach of the Southern California Trojans basketball team, he came from the Atlantic Sun Conference when he took Florida Gulf Coast to the Sweet 16 a few years ago. But Mercer left the ASUN, which they were the original school in, as a matter of fact. They had recently hosted, say, the men's basketball tournament. They don't play football in there. And they added a football program and then joined the Southern Conference. Mercer did. So after more than 30 years of establishing one conference, they now are in another. And Boots will be playing in that conference, which is really a very interesting conference of mid-majors in the South. That is a clearing kick if you're listening in from California. Furman, which is considered to be something of a prestigious academic institution, located in Greenville, South Carolina, traditionally good football. Tennessee Chattanooga and East Tennessee State. East Tennessee State recently built their own soccer stadium. They're in the conference. The Citadel and VMI, great rivalry there. Elon. And now Mercer. And I keep thinking I'm probably missing. Oh, Western Carolina is another team in the Southern Conference that I kept thinking there's somebody else. Who am I missing? Allen, her kick off the mark. You may remember when Stephon Curry was in college, he played in the Southern Conference at Davidson, but Davidson no longer in that conference. They moved up. Another long-standing conference member. They'd originally joined the Southern Conference at Davidson in 1936, but now they are in the CAA. Colonial Athletic Association. Anyway, that's where Boots will play. That kick came from the Legends Irwin. This is Allen, who will be playing in the SEC, and you know about them. Or excuse me, the MAC. I'm sorry, she'll be playing at Akron. There will be a player Devin Bro, or Bra, excuse me, Bra. And she will be, is it Bro, I think is how we had this whole thing. It's Devin Bro. And she will be attending Auburn. She plays for Michigan. Lindbergh taking the ball into Michigan territory. And a chance here, Allen, but the ball is covered up and saved by Destiny Collins. And so, the shutouts continue. About 15 minutes left in this game, and we'll see another substitution here for California. Alexander Velo and Nia Sanders from Temecula Valley and Etowanda High Schools. They'll be coming in. Coming out, Alyssa Carthon, the Sacramento State commit, and Rena Kang, who was shaken up a little bit before in this half. She'll get a well-earned rest, and there'll be a substitution made by the Michigan Jaguars as well very shortly. Kick from Lindbergh, going into the center of the pitch. Ball goes out of bounds. And we will have a substitution here. Kyla Sovereign will come in, and coming out, Shea Wiggins. Sovereign and Wiggins were born a week apart in 1998, back in March. Wiggins, the older of the two. But not by much. Ball will be thrown in here by California's Alyssa Alley Boots. We gave this huge dissertation of Mercer, where she'll be playing this huge informative structure history of Mercer. And John Rocker went to Mercer, among other athletes. And the kick goes out of bounds. So Alyssa Pagoni will throw the ball in, and this will be an attempt here to try to head something in. And the ball goes out of bounds, and so Michigan should be able to, well, let's see, it's behind the net. So we'll have a corner kick right now, and another good scoring opportunity. Sedan, going to Northern California, will be making the kick. Can we get a header here? No, it's a little bit low, and it goes directly to Bro, the Auburn product or commit of Michigan, and she kicks it out of bounds. We're in the final stages of this game. 4 goalies, no goals. We're approaching 10 minutes left. There may be some extra time. Michigan wanted to make a surge, but like a defenseman by the blue line in hockey, it was Kang keeping the ball in. That's not Kang, excuse me. Who is that? That would be Caitlin Traver, the future Blue Raider from Middle Tennessee State. Shot blocked there. Fine play, and falling to the dirt is the shot blocker, and she might be hurt. Doesn't appear to be that serious, however. Trying to get the number of the player. Could that be Tom? No, it's not. Yes, it is Tom. Jenna Tom. Born 3 weeks into spring in 1998 is Jenna Tom. Kick away, goes out of bounds. Throwing it in is California. In recent times, California has had the position battle won. Possession battle. They've had it in Michigan territory, but now this is Allen, and I think the ball hit her hand. And she had a way to clear it out, but instead, we are now going to see another substitution from Michigan. Abigail Prescott should be coming in. Is that correct? Abigail Prescott will come in, but also playing a field position will be Morgan Britton, the Central Michigan product. She played the first half in goal and played quite well. Allen here trying to set something up in the California end. A long shot, saved, made by Collins. Collins is a collegiate netminder. Like to transfer. She was born 29th day of August in 1997, so she's still eligible for the 18 and under Legends. The Legends from Chino, California. So now coming in, 2 players. Morgan Britton wearing number 15, and she started the game in net. And she will be replacing Natalia, or I heard Natasha, but McElrath, who played well, but Madeline Erdman also comes out. So a goalie switch here. It's still a scoreless tie, and I have a feeling that the idea here is in a scoreless tie, the Central Michigan commit Britton, the idea is that she will come in and try to hold down the whitewash, if you will. She made several nice saves in the first half, or at least played balls very well. You can debate whether or not they were shots on goal. Near the 7-minute remaining mark of this game. California trying to set something up, taking the ball back, seeing if they can spread out the defense, and now bringing it up the left wing. See who they make the crossing pass to. Trying to set up in front of the net was Palfrey. But the ball goes out of bounds. Perhaps just over 5 minutes remaining in the game. No score. Scrum in front of the net and the save, and I think that's why they put Britton back in. She comes up with the ball and now will punt it away. She'll be doing that in the MAC for the Chippewas of Central Michigan soon. Staying home. Quickly getting the ball to the other end, and now Destiny Collins, already playing college soccer, covers it up, and she'll kick it back. So if a goal is to be scored in the final minutes, not only would it be the first one that these two teams have played in the tournament, but it would be against a superior netminder. And I think all 4 netminders that we've seen in this game have been superior. But you're talking about a current collegian against a future D1 collegian. An attempt here, the shot wide of the net. This will be a corner kick now. It'll be coming from Devin Bro, the future Auburn Tiger. And War Eagle kicks the ball to the center of the field, but California wants to conquer and never yield. Both teams fearless and true, fighting on and playing for you. And Allen kicks the ball out of bounds, and so here in the closing moments, California will make one last rush with Jillian Irwin throwing the ball in. Allen, midfield, future Akron product, and here comes Michigan one last time, but the kick blocked by Boots. Boots playing very tough, checking Lindbergh like she was playing hockey. The ball back in Michigan territory, but the Jaguars look to be able to cover it. Wait. The ball's still in their territory, and still giving chase is Palfrey. Collision with her. And we will have a stoppage here. We'll be very close to potential extra time. Palfrey trying to get a shot on goal. The ball going into the corner. And great defense there by Tom, kicking it away. We're in the final minute. No score. Legends of Chino, California, Jaguars of Wixom, Michigan. There isn't a great urgency to throw the ball in, I'm surprised. Can they head it in? No, it is cleared. Keeping it in, though, that is Melendez. Another collision. Call it accidental. California now, as we will be headed close to extra time, I believe. Michigan trying to get the ball as it goes out of bounds. We're in the closing seconds of this game. No score. And the ball kicked away again. I'm told by the timekeeper about a minute and a half, which sounds about right when you consider the extra time. And the ball out of bounds. California will have possession, but it will take quite the punt here from Collins, or the kickoff as the case may be, using American football terms here. And I hope I don't offend any purists by not exclusively using the term nil, but I am an American, you know. And that will be the game. Two outstanding defensive teams, including performances by wonderful goalkeepers, Aubrey Osorio and Destiny Collins of the California Legends of Chino, and for Wixom, Michigan's Jaguars 98 Green team, the future Central Michigan Chippewa, Morgan Britton, and her counterpart, Natalia McElrath, outstanding efforts today, and it results in a 0-0 tie between these two teams. So again, our final score is California Legends FC 0, Michigan Jaguars 98 Green 0 in this game between two 18 and under clubs. Folks, I'm Marky Bilson. You've been watching the 2015 Girls Youth Soccer National League Series on the Turbo Sports Network.